Do you ever worry that the instant coffee in your pantry might be doing more harm than good? Not just the bitter aftertaste or that dry feeling on your tongue, but real issues like questionable additives in premixed packets, recalls for foreign fragments, or simply a cup so harsh it ruins your morning. If you had to choose between convenience and confidence, which would you pick today? By the end of this, you'll know exactly which instant coffee brands are worth your money and which ones you may want to keep out of your cup for good. Let's start with 7 brands that many shoppers should think twice about, and I'll explain exactly why, using clear reasons you can check for yourself on labels and product pages. Then I'll share 5 better options that actually taste good without loading you up on unnecessary junk. Along the way, I'll give you simple fixes that make any instant cup safer and smoother. The brand is iconic on grocery shelves, but instant formats from big legacy labels often get panned for flavor. Common feedback is a sharp, chemical-leaning aroma and a bitter, burnt edge that lingers long after the last sip. Even when it's just coffee with no added creamer powders or sweeteners, the taste profile can feel hollow and drying, and many people report sludge at the bottom of the mug. If this is your everyday jar, there's a simple test. Prepare your cup at the manufacturer's ratio, then repeat with 20% more water and a pinch of salt. If the brew only becomes thinner without losing the harshness, that's a sign the roast style and extraction character just aren't working for you. Remember that all roasted coffee contains acrylamide formed during roasting. That's not unique to Maxwell House, but it's one more reason to keep portions moderate if you don't love the cup to begin with. Next is Clover Valley, Dollar General's private label line. Budget coffee can look like a great idea until there's a quality control stumble. In 2025, select lots of Clover Valley instant coffee were recalled for possible glass fragments. Even if injuries were rare or avoided, that kind of recall shakes confidence because it suggests something went wrong in manufacturing or packaging. The larger point here is pattern recognition. If a product at this price tier has a safety event, it may be wise to pause, check lot codes if you already bought it, and wait for the company to detail what changed. Taste-wise, budget instant often leans weak or bitter, with gritty sediment that won't fully dissolve. If you are relying on ultra-low price, you can still reduce risk. Always transfer the contents to a jar at home. Look for unusual clumping or shine. Brew with hot but not boiling water so you don't scorch the granules, and stop drinking immediately if you see undissolved specks that look wrong. In a similar lane is Folgers Instant. It's everywhere and inexpensive, but the most common complaint is that it tastes watery even at full strength, then flips bitter as it cools. If you're chasing body from a thin cup, you usually add more granules, which can make bitterness spike. If the brand doesn't offer organic or fair trade options in the instant format you buy, you also lose that extra layer of sourcing transparency that some shoppers want. None of this means Folgers is unsafe. It means you might be trading away taste and traceability for price. If you have a jar at home you're determined to finish, whisk in a teaspoon of hot water first to make a smooth paste, then dilute to volume. That often cuts graininess. Add a splash of milk that has a bit of natural sweetness, like oat milk, which can round out the edges without dumping sugar. Let's talk about Nescafé, especially the 3-in-1 and pre-mixed sachets you see in international aisles and online. The red flag isn't the plain freeze-dried coffee. It's the mixes that bundle powdered creamer and sugar in the same stick. Many of those blends are mostly sugar with added non-dairy creamer that can include hydrogenated or highly refined oils, plus emulsifiers and stabilizers. That's convenience, but you're paying for add-ins your body may not need before 9 a.m. If you like the taste of those sticks, replicate the flavor in a cleaner way. Buy the plain Nescafé or another pure instant, then add your own milk and a half teaspoon of real sugar or honey. You get control of the sweetener, skip questionable creamers, and keep your total sodium and phosphate additives lower, which matters if you're watching heart or kidney health. Dunkin' branded instant iced coffee mixes and caramel latte powders deserve a quick reality check too. The concern here is not that Dunkin' is hiding something sinister. It's that pre-mixed instant beverage powders are often formulated with significant sugar, flavorings, and sometimes phosphate-based stabilizers that can add up if you drink them daily. That's especially relevant if you're managing blood pressure or kidney function, because some phosphate salts and high added sugars can be unhelpful over time. If you love the caramel profile, make an instant iced at home with plain instant coffee, ice, a splash of milk, a touch of vanilla extract, and just enough simple syrup to taste. You'll hit the same flavor note with far fewer additives and better control over sweetness. Trader Joe's instant coffee mix falls into the same pre-mixed trap. Check the label and you'll often see cane sugar, corn syrup solids, palm oil-based creamers, and salts like dipotassium phosphate that help powders dissolve. None of those are mysterious, but they are unnecessary if all you wanted was coffee. If the ingredient list reads more like dessert than a morning starter, Swap it for Trader Joe's own instant coffee packets that are just coffee, or pick a different brand's pure freeze-dried jar. If you still want that mocha vibe, whisk in a teaspoon of unsweetened cocoa and a dash of cinnamon. It tastes more grown-up and leans away from the sugar bomb. Finally, Starbucks VIA Instant. On paper, it's just 100% Arabica coffee, and to many people, it tastes cleaner than the old-school instants. There are two reasons it still lands in a think twice section. First, cost. VIA is often priced like a premium single serve, yet most drinkers still prefer the taste of a freshly brewed Starbucks drip. Second, context about acrylamide. All roasted coffee contains it, but instant forms tend to show higher average levels because of processing. That doesn't mean VIA is dangerous. It means moderation is still a smart habit, especially if you also enjoy dark toast, chips, or other roasted foods that contribute to total acrylamide exposure. If VIA is your travel buddy, consider alternating with a small pour-over cone and ground coffee when you're home so your overall instant share is lower. So that's the rough map of 7 brands and product types you might avoid, or at least treat as an occasional convenience. Now let's upgrade the pantry with 5 instant options that actually deliver on flavor, cleanliness, or both. Illy Intenso Instant is a strong first pick. The company has long positioned itself on quality control, and their instant version often surprises people who assume all instant is thin. The granules dissolve quickly, the aroma is chocolatey rather than burnt, and the cup holds together with a pleasant bitterness that tastes like purpose, not a mistake. If you normally drown instant in creamer, try Illy Intenso with nothing more than hot water and a small splash of milk. If you can drink it nearly black and still enjoy it, that's a sign the base coffee is doing real work. Whole Foods 365 organic dark roast coffee bags are another clever move, especially if you want simplicity without the mystery powders. Think of these as tea bags filled with ground, pre-measured coffee designed to steep like a pour-over in your mug. A cup that tastes like actual coffee rather than a simulation. This is a painless bridge. Gently with a spoon, and you're done. The flavor is deeper than most freeze-dried options, and you avoid sugary creamers by design. Mount Hagen Organic Fair Trade Instant is the classic clean and calm choice. It's certified organic and fair trade. It dissolves easily, and the taste leans balanced and smooth instead of scorched. If you plan to keep instant at work, this is the jar that offends the fewest palates in a shared kitchen. It also plays nicely with milk. Add a splash, and it stays aromatic instead of collapsing into bitterness. For people sensitive to acidity, Mount Hagen may feel kinder on the stomach than aggressive dark roasts. A Café Bustelo Instant deserves a spot for value and punch. If you like your coffee intense, this brings the espresso-style vibe without extra steps. It is bold and not shy. The trick to enjoying Bustelo is dose control and dilution. Start lighter than the label suggests, taste, then add pinches until you hit that rich, syrupy edge without tipping into ash. It also works well as the coffee base for protein shakes, smoothies, or baking. A half teaspoon blended into a chocolate smoothie locks in that mocha pop. Chamberlain Coffee Instant, particularly the medium roast blends, is an option for people who want modern flavor notes without hard additives or premixed creamers. The brand emphasizes organic sourcing and a clean label, which makes it easy to recommend to anyone moving away from sugar-heavy sticks. The profile is bright and lively rather than brooding and bitter, so it's a good afternoon cup when you want clarity without heaviness. If you usually add sweetener, try a small pinch of sea salt instead. It's a neat barista trick that softens bitterness without adding calories. Before we wrap, here are quick hacks that can make almost any instant coffee safer and better. Use water just off the boil, not rolling. Let it sit 15 to 20 seconds before pouring. Extremely hot water can make bitterness jump. Bloom the coffee. Put the granules in your mug, add a tablespoon of hot water, stir to a paste, then add the rest. This improves dissolve and reduces grainy sludge. Cut premixes with Pure Instant. If you have a sugary 3-in-1 box to finish, mix half a packet with a teaspoon of plain instant. You'll keep the flavor while cutting sugar and additives in half. Add real dairy or plant milk instead of powdered creamer. You get better texture without the extra salts and stabilizers. Keep portions moderate. 1 to 2 cups a day of instant is a reasonable ceiling for most healthy adults, especially if you also consume other roasted foods. If you need more coffee, rotate in brewed options. Store it smart. Oxygen, heat, and humidity damage flavor and can make odd smells more obvious. Keep your instant in a tightly sealed jar away from the stove. So, what should you do if your go-to brand showed up in the avoid section? It doesn't mean you must toss it right now. It means build a plan, finish what you have while you audition one of the cleaner options, then make the switch when you find a flavor that actually makes you look forward to the first sip. Keep in mind that taste is personal. If you love a dark, smoky profile, you might hate a bright, fruity medium roast, and that's fine. The goal is a cup that tastes good to you without leaning on mystery mixes, heavy sugars, or processed creamers. If you want the shortest recommendation set possible, here it is. Avoid pre-mixed instant sticks with long ingredient lists. Choose plain instant from brands that taste good black. Add your own milk and a touch of real sugar if you need it. Consider Illy Intenso for a rich dark cup, Mount Hagen for an easy organic jar, Bustelo for affordable strength, Whole Foods coffee bags when you want simple and clean, and Chamberlain if you prefer a brighter modern profile. Keep instant to 1 or 2 cups a day and rotate with brewed coffee when you can. Your taste buds and your body will probably thank you. Now, I want to hear from you. Which instant brand surprised you the most today, and which one are you planning to try next? Comments so I know you made it to this point. And if you have a hack that makes instant coffee taste amazing without a pile of sugar, share it. Someone else will use it tomorrow morning.